Hi, I'm Kristi Nedderman with the City of Dallas Municipal Archives. In celebration of Women's History Month, I'm speaking with a number of women leaders in Dallas who are sharing their stories of trailblazing and helping to transform our community with their dedicated service.
I'm Sandy Tinkham, and I'm one of the founders of the Dallas Summit.
All right, well, wonderful. Well, Sandy, can you describe the climate in Dallas for women in business, civic, and cultural areas at the time the summit was founded?
I think Dallas was really in a transition state. There was a lot of change going on nationally, internationally, and in Dallas. The kind of old like the old banks you relied on in the stores, and that were being either taken over by other companies or going out, which meant that the leadership of those, like the Sanger-Harris people and that, were no longer in power and helping in the city. And then we had our first elected female mayor in Annette Strauss coming into office. So I think it was a time of kind of upheaval and redirection. So,
okay. Well, if you tell us, please, about your journey as a trailblazer in Dallas and in your field of leadership.
I was, as part of my family, the first generation to go to college, and was fortunate enough to choose SMU. And when I went to SMU in 1962, Emmy Bain became the Dean of Women there, and she was really determined, having come out of a professional volunteer background, that women were going to be treated the same as the men. That women at that time had hours when you had to get in at night, and the boys did not. She got rid of that and then worked on salaries. But then she also began bringing in a lot of women, professional and volunteer women in the community that she had worked with, as role models for these women students. So I think that kind of began a beginning for me of seeing what might be out there. At that time, women really either were going to be at home, they were going to be nurses or teachers, and that seemed to be the only options. I worked with Emmy as one of 4 students that she started a program at the university's 50th anniversary that was the Education of Women for Social and Political Leadership, in which we then were able to sit down and visit with all of these professional volunteers and professional women in Dallas. So that was kind of a start for me. And then when after I finished my graduate work, I came back as part of her staff. And so while I worked with all those wonderful women. And I think the role models that they were really inspired me, and also invited me to be part of some beginning things. I was part of the first group that started Women for Change in 1972, the Women's Center. I then became a member of the YWCA Metropolitan Board. So all of those kinds of experiences, I think, helped define for me the issues of for women in this city. So.
Fantastic. Well, what advice would you give to young women leaders today in Dallas?
I guess what I would say is listen, try to build coalitions, and remember the issues for women at varying socioeconomic levels, that you may not see this because you're able to be a professional person, but these women really have issues that nobody else can help them with. And kind of step out of your little established circle and get to know the issues of the city.